Imagine you're playing a hyper-realistic virtual reality game. You're so immersed that you've forgotten it's not real. Suddenly, there's a glitch. The graphics flicker, the NPCs freeze, and for a split second, you remember, this is just a game. Now, what if I told you that our everyday reality might be something similar? What if those rare, inexplicable moments of clarity, those spiritual awakenings, are actually glitches in our consciousness matrix? Welcome to the bleeding edge of neuroscience and quantum consciousness theory, where reality isn't what it seems, and your mind is the ultimate virtual reality machine. Let's start with a mind-bending experiment. Close your eyes and picture an elephant. Got it? Now here's the kicker. The image you just conjured uses the same neural pathways as actually seeing an elephant. In other words, your brain doesn't really distinguish between imagination and reality. It's all just data processing. This is where it gets wild. Some scientists propose that what we call reality is actually a highly sophisticated simulation run by our brains. It's not that the outside world doesn't exist, but rather that our experience of it is a complex prediction based on limited sensory input. Think about it this way. Your brain is locked inside the dark, quiet box of your skull. It never directly experiences the outside world. Instead, it receives electrical signals from your senses and constructs a model of reality. This model is so convincing that we mistake it for objective reality itself. Enter the quantum consciousness model. This theory suggests that our brains operate not just on classical physics, but on quantum principles. Just as a quantum particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed, our consciousness might exist in a superposition of multiple realities until we focus our attention. A spiritual awakening, in this context, could be seen as a quantum leap of consciousness, a moment when we briefly shift to a different probability in the quantum field of awareness. It's like changing the channel on the cosmic TV of consciousness, suddenly tuning into a station we didn't even know existed. But why would our brains create such an elaborate simulation? The answer might lie in the concept of cognitive efficiency. Processing every minute detail of our environment would be incredibly energy-intensive. Instead, our brains create a good enough model of reality and only update it when predictions don't match incoming sensory data. This is where meditation and mindfulness practices come in. By focusing intently on the present moment, we're essentially forcing our brains to update their model of reality more frequently. This could explain why long-term meditators often report a sense of heightened reality or expanded awareness. Imagine your normal consciousness as a low-resolution video stream. Meditation is like upgrading to 4K Ultra HD. Suddenly, you're noticing details you never saw before, not because they weren't there, but because your brain wasn't bothering to render them. Now let's talk about psychedelics. Substances like psilocybin and DMT have been shown to dramatically alter consciousness, often leading to profound spiritual experiences. From a quantum consciousness perspective, these substances might be temporarily shifting our awareness to different probability states in the quantum field of consciousness. It's like having a universal remote control for reality. Most of the time, we're stuck on one channel. Psychedelics let us flip through the entirety of cosmic cable, experiencing realities we never knew existed. But here's where it gets really interesting. Some researchers propose that our individual consciousness might be part of a larger collective quantum field. This could explain phenomena like shared mystical experiences, collective consciousness events, and even some aspects of quantum entanglement. Imagine consciousness as a vast cosmic internet. Your brain is like a device connected to this network, usually operating within the parameters of your local reality. But sometimes, through meditation, psychedelics, or spontaneous spiritual experiences, you get a glimpse of the larger network. This model could also shed light on near-death experiences. As the brain faces extreme stress, it might momentarily disconnect from its localized simulation, tapping into the broader field of consciousness. This could account for the feelings of expansiveness, unity, and transcendence often reported in these experiences. It's like your consciousness is a video game character who suddenly glitches out of the game map, seeing the entire game world from outside. For a brief moment, you're not just a player, you're seeing the entire game design. But let's bring this back to everyday life. If our reality is indeed a kind of simulation, does that mean it's not real? Absolutely not. Just as the joy, fear, and excitement you feel in a vivid dream are real experiences, our simulated reality is our lived truth. The key is recognizing that this simulation is flexible. By understanding the nature of our consciousness, we gain the power to shape our experience of reality. Techniques like mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and even virtual reality therapies can be seen as ways of hacking our consciousness simulation. Consider the placebo effect, where belief alone can cause measurable physical changes. This isn't just the power of positive thinking, it's evidence of our ability to influence our reality simulation through focused intention. It's like accessing the developer console of the game of life and tweaking the code. So, what does all this mean for spiritual awakening? Perhaps these moments of expanded awareness are glimpses of our potential, brief alignments with different probability states in the quantum field of consciousness. They show us that our everyday reality is just one of many possible simulations our mind can run. The implications of this are staggering. It suggests that the limits we perceive in our abilities, our understanding, even in physical laws, might be more flexible than we thought. Just as a video game character is bound by the rules of their game world, we're bound by the rules of our consciousness simulation. But what if we could change those rules? This is where practices like yoga, breathwork, and even some martial arts come in. These disciplines often speak of manipulating subtle energies or achieving superhuman feats. From a quantum consciousness perspective, these practices might be ways of altering our baseline simulation, expanding the rules of what we believe is possible. The ultimate goal, then, isn't to permanently wake up from our simulation. Rather, it's to become lucid within it, to recognize the fluid nature of our reality, and learn to navigate it with greater awareness and intention. Imagine you're in a lucid dream, aware that you're dreaming. Suddenly, you can fly, walk through walls, or manifest objects at will. Now apply that same principle to waking life. What if you could navigate your daily reality with that same sense of flexibility and possibility? This doesn't mean reality becomes a free-for-all where anything goes. Even in lucid dreams, there's a framework of rules, but it does mean that the boundaries of what's possible become much more permeable. As we stand on the brink of technologies like advanced AI, brain-computer interfaces, and the metaverse, understanding the malleable nature of our consciousness becomes more crucial than ever. We're not just passive experiencers of reality, we're active co-creators. These technologies are essentially external tools for manipulating our experience of reality. But what if the most powerful virtual reality device is the one we already possess, our own mind? What if, instead of escaping into virtual worlds, we could transform our experience of this one? This perspective also sheds new light on the concept of enlightenment. Perhaps it's not about achieving some fixed higher state of consciousness. Maybe it's about becoming fluid, adaptable, able to shift between different reality channels at will. It's like upgrading from a basic TV to a smart TV with access to infinite streaming services. You're no longer limited to whatever happens to be broadcasting. You can choose your reality experience. So the next time you have a moment of unexpected clarity or feel a sudden sense of connection with everything around you, remember, you might just be experiencing a glitch in the matrix of your consciousness, and that glitch might be the doorway to levels of awareness you never dreamed possible. In a world where reality is negotiable and consciousness is quantum, the only limit is our imagination. So, are you ready to take the red pill and see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Remember, in the game of consciousness, we're not just players. We're the game designers too. It's time to level up. It's time to recognize the extraordinary power we hold in shaping our experience of reality. The frontier of human potential isn't out there in the stars. It's in the unexplored territories of our own consciousness. And the journey of exploration is just beginning.